The Elbaf arc of One Piece is well underway, and fans are incredibly excited to see what the Straw Hat Pirates do next on the quest for the One Piece. This story is just getting better with each passing chapter, and fans absolutely cannot wait to see how Luffy's adventure in the Land of the Giants affects the plot. Of course, then, fans also need to remember that Luffy is not the only major player affecting things right now. The world of One Piece is more turbulent than ever before, and there are multiple players currently fighting for glory. At the same time, there is the world government, who fans know are preparing for a massive war, and likely a great cleansing as well. Imu, the sovereign of the world, is the one behind everything from the side of the world government, and, even though they're not likely going to be involved in this particular arc directly, fans know that they will still play an indirect role here, just as they did in the last few arcs of the story. How Imu destroyed Luluzia and attacked Egghead. Inu utilized the power of Uranus to destroy Luluzia. Ever since the conclusion of the Wano Country arc, Imu has been involved more with each passing chapter. It is safe to say that Imu is quite easily the most intriguing villain in the story right now. With each passing arc, fans find out bits about them, and after Wano, their tremendous power was first hinted at. Imu made use of an ancient weapon to destroy Luluzia. Within moments, this island was completely eviscerated, being removed from the face of the earth itself. This destruction of the island led to the death of countless people, and at the same time, it also affected the world of One Piece in grievous ways. The sea levels all around the world started rising dramatically, and within a few days, the entire world of One Piece had sunk to a significant degree. It was clearly established that the water levels had risen by 1 meter, which meant that many low-lying areas were completely inundated with water, while others had been affected greatly by this as well. This was only the beginning of Imu's quest to maintain control over the world. Imu also sent the Marines and, with them, an elder to Egghead Island, where the goal was to eliminate Vegapunk, who had started to study the poneglyphs. Of course, Imu wanted any curiosity in regards to the Void Century being snuffed out, which is why Vegapunk's death was ordered. As fans know, Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates took part in the battle there, which essentially meant that Imu's plans were foiled, to a degree. Even though Vegapunk died, Lilith, a satellite, survived, along with Edison, who could then steal Punk Records itself. The world government failed to accomplish its mission completely, and things got even worse. However, in the events of Egghead, the government also found some silver lining, which will now play a significant role in determining what Imu's plans are next and how they plan to shape the entire world. Imu's next move after the events of Egghead Island. Imu is going to order the creation of Mother Flame for Uranus. When thinking of Imu's next plans after the events of Egghead Island arc, fans need to look at two things in particular. The first is the attack of the Revolutionary Army on Marawa. The very first thing that any government person would need to do is break the siege that was currently laid by the Revolutionary Army. Imu doesn't really have to do much there. The first thing that they need to do is to send down the God's Knights and fight the Revolutionary Army. This doesn't require Imu's direct intervention, and because of that, he can simply delegate this mission to the Supreme Commander of the God's Knights. Imu's personal plans here are to eliminate Joy Boy. This is something that they mentioned towards the end of Egghead. Imu was furious with Saturn for allowing Joy Boy to escape, and because of his failures, Imu completely destroyed him, by stripping his immortality from him. With the death of Saturn, a new elder was elected. Of course, Joy Boy would still be, in Imu's eyes, a major threat, and that is why Imu wants Luffy out of the way. At this point, fans might be wondering as to how this connects to the events of Egghead Island. The answer couldn't be clearer. York sided with the world government after the events of Egghead. This essentially means that the world government has access to Vegapunk's brain and his genius. On top of securing York, fans know that the government also managed to secure the power plant, which means that York can continue producing the Mother Flame. Of course, producing the Mother Flame is a time-consuming procedure that likely won't see results until a few weeks or months, at the very least. But, it must also be remembered that they already had Mother Flame ready inside a power plant. This Mother Flame essentially can be used to power up the ancient weapon Uranus that is currently in possession of Imu. This essentially means that Imu has the firepower to sink the world even further, and there is absolutely nothing stopping him this time. Last time around, Imu stopped at Luluzia, and this was simply because there was no more Mother Flame left to power up the ancient weapon, as they received only a piece of it. This time around, they have the entire Mother Flame, which means that the ancient weapon Uranus can likely be utilized multiple times, and all Imu has to do is know the location of their target. Is Elbaf in danger? The island of Elbaf could be sunk by Imu. Given the current events of One Piece, it is safe to say that Elbaf is clearly in danger. The entire world knows where Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates are headed. The Marines made it clear that Luffy is headed to Elbaf, and even Saturn knew of it. If Saturn knew it, then, of course, Imu themselves would know of it as well. If Imu has Luffy's location, then nothing is stopping them from sending Uranus to Elbaf, and trying to utterly destroy it and wipe it off from the face of the earth. As to how Luffy and the Straw Hats would counter this, an answer cannot be provided right now. Perhaps, Vivi will come into play here. This might be confusing to many fans, but Vivi clearly has some connection to an ancient weapon. Imu seeks Vivi for some reason, and her powers could very well be similar to that of Momonosuke, and, of course, Princess Shirahoshi. These are three anchors that Oda has specifically highlighted, and each of them could have a connection to an ancient weapon. Perhaps, the only way that Elbaf could be saved is through Vivi and her latent ability that she has not awakened yet.